Are you a new EMT or just getting ready to get out of EMT school and you want to get some tips to be more successful when you're out there in the thick of it doing the real work? You've come to the right place. Let's discuss 3 steps to improve your ability to perform as an EMT. Thanks. Hey, welcome back to Hyper Academy. My name is Ryan Fields-Spack. It's a ruthless world out there. How do you stand up and step out? You do it by getting your mind right. And that's what Hyper Academy is here to talk about with you today. Specifically, we're talking about new EMTs. As an EMT myself for years and years and years, I have been in your shoes. I know the stresses that you're under, and I know what it's like to get out into the field, especially working with a new paramedic and having to perform better. So in order to help alleviate some of that stress, let's talk about 3 tips today, real quick, that you can implement to perform better and to be a better partner to your EMT or your paramedic partner as you're out there in the field. As I said, Ryan Fields, I was a captain with a large metropolitan fire department for 10 years, served as a medic for all of that time before leaving the fire service to join the private sector. But I really want to chat with you today how you can improve upon your EMT skills. So let's jump right into it. The first thing that you can absolutely work on is your skills. Those basic tasks that you have to undertake as an EMT, if you have those down pat, you will be able to be a much better partner and a much better EMT, especially when you're on those critical calls. Things like blood pressure, pulse. Do you know how to find the pulse really fast in the dark without looking at the patient? Do you know how to take a blood pressure all the time, every time? Do you know how to take lung sounds? Those type of things, getting the basic of the assessment done is absolutely huge. And if you're confident in your ability to do those, your partner will be confident in your ability to help out when things are really on the line. So IVs, all of those skills, practice them, get your hands on these patients, and take the opportunity to get those vital signs and do those assessments any chance you get. Your better skill set will make you a much better EMT. That's number 1. Number 2, personability with your partner. Oftentimes you get assigned and you have never met your partner before, or you've heard of your partner before, you've heard lore of your partner before. All of those can be a challenge when you're first sitting in to that seat and getting ready to work a shift as an EMT. Making sure that you can build that personability really fast is huge. You know, another group that does this all the time that has high consequence effect are pilots. Pilots have to sit down with a brand new co-pilot or primary pilot every single day when they are flying across the country, and they have to instantly build that rapport. So being able to sit down, shake hands, get yourself set up for success, and having what we call airmanship, but on the ground, is a huge opportunity for you to improve upon your ability to perform. So shake hands, see a bit about what their personal history is. Ask, most importantly, how they run critical calls and what they expect you to do. If you can set that baseline and that foundation ahead of time, you will be much farther ahead for when that bad call does come later in the day. So set up that personability with your partner and you'll be much more successful. And finally, most importantly, number 3 is your mindset. How do you get your mindset right to perform during stressful situations? Within this, there are 4 specific components that I love to focus on personally every single day. The first, meditation. You may think, meditation, Ryan, you're crazy. What does meditation have to do with performing as an EMT in a gunshot situation? It's much more nuanced than that. If you can meditate every morning, spend 2 minutes, find a quiet place, get comfortable, and then set a timer for 2 minutes and do nothing but focus on your breath. Your in-breath, your out-breath. Your in-breath, and your out-breath. You're inevitably going to have a mind-wandering situation where your mind goes off and starts thinking about something else. When you notice your mind has wandered, acknowledge it and bring yourself back to the present moment and focus on your breath in and out. Every time your mind wanders and you bring it back is one more rep, one more lift in your mind to be more able to acknowledge and notice when your mind wanders, so that when you're in the day, in the thick of things, you'll be able to perform better by bringing yourself back to that present moment. That leads to the second component of bringing your mind right. That's mindfulness. Mindfulness is the art of knowing once you have a mind-wandering situation, bringing yourself back to that present moment. You can do a thing called first just breathe. This is a mindfulness trick, a mindfulness hack that I have a link to in the description down below on how to do this. If you can focus your mind, it will lower your pulse, your blood pressure, your anxiety. You'll be able to perform better because you've gotten rid of all the things that happened before the call and all the concerns that you have after it. And you're focused on the task, the skill that you're trying to perform right now. You're trying to take a pulse. You're not thinking about anything else but getting that pulse really fast, getting that blood pressure, starting that IV. All of these different components, if you're doing it in a mindful state, will really bring you into becoming a much better EMT. Finally, or one more, mental rehearsals. If you have the ability when you talk with your partner, okay, how do you run a cardiac arrest? How do you run a chest painer? How do you run a trauma? And then you can start playing that out in a mental rehearsal in your mind throughout the morning and throughout the day, so that when it does come, you'll have a better ability to perform because you've already had those mental reps in your mind. So a mental rehearsal is absolutely huge with that. And then finally, fourth, my favorite is how to be more present and having presence about yourself when you're performing these challenging acts. So if you can up your confidence, your poise, your capability, you can do so. You can trick your mind into being more of those by simply expanding your presence and your posture. If you stand like a superhero before getting ready to do something stressful, your mind will automatically perform better because it's built into itself that confidence, that poise, that presence. Versus if you are in a submissive posture and you're cowered over like this, your mind has a submissive approach and it won't perform as well. So this is something to absolutely keep in mind. Is scientifically proven. If you approach your day and approach situations with presence and poise, even when you're in the shower, stand like a superhero, you will perform better as the day goes on as a result of that. So things to keep in mind. Recap, skills. Get those skills really dialed in and really right. Personability with your partner. Get to know your partner and get to know how he or she likes to work during specific situations. And mindset. Get that meditation, the mindfulness, get your mental rehearsal, and definitely get that presence, that poise going forward. Those are some steps that helped me specifically when I was an EMT, when I was in your shoes. I'm curious, what are your tips? What are your successful opportunities to perform better? Put them in the comments below. Would love for the community to hear from you. If you have any other questions, put them in the comments as well. And come on back. We talk EMS, we talk fire all the time on this channel. This is gonna be your place for us to communicate and have a great discussion. Hope you're well. Good luck as an EMT. I'll talk to you soon. Thanks.